Well, all right. It is Thursday, March 21. It is just about 9:45 a.m. here, Pacific Standard Time, and I'm just wrapping up my day. You can check me out every day, live streaming between 10 a.m. and 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, which for me here on the West Coast is 7 a.m. to 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. And as you can see today, today was, I think, a good day for me. I was 6-1. I did have a loss, but while I did have a loss on a PA account, I had 6 accounts where I was green and progressing these accounts towards their goals. So, but today, is a tricky one because my first trade out of the gate, as you can see, this is the first chart that I traded today. My first trade out of the gate was a loss right here, which we'll get into in just a bit. So never fun to start your day taking a loss. The trade set up within minutes of my starting my stream today and starting to trade. And sometimes that's going to happen. And it's just the question is, what are you going to do when you start your day and you get a loss? And, I think for a lot of people, starting a day that way can really put someone on tilt, can really change your whole game plan for the day, can make you start taking trades you wouldn't normally take, and just trying to get it back. And, I think there's a lot of self-sabotage that probably occurs in that. Self-doubt creeps in, fear of losing, not wanting to be wrong, wanting to, not lose money, but get it back. And I think, it's easy to take a loss on your first trade, and then the whole rest of your day just goes a completely different direction because you start making decisions and taking trades that you wouldn't otherwise normally take. But with my system here, it just takes all of that away from me, and it's been working really great for me. And, at this point, as you can see, I was 6-1 for today. Right at 86%. And if you look at my stats over here in the little yellow box, for the week, I'm now 12-2, 14 trades for the week, which is great for me. Volume of trades is right where I'd like to be, even after an FOMC day, where, I only trade in the morning. So, I only got one trade yesterday, and FOMC days are just notoriously tough until after the news. But then the market is hugely volatile, and I'm not trading that late anymore anyway. So to be 12-2 for the week, 86% is right on target for me. It's exactly where I want to be. So even with the loss this week, it really it's not a bad thing, right? I know losses are going to come, especially with my system of trading. It's not perfect, and it's not going to give you a 100% result. I don't think any system will. But if I can be trading at 86% steadily, or if you look at my stats overall for the year so far, for the year 2024, 147 wins and 34 losses for 81%. So it was 181 trades. So coming up on my first 200 trades of the year. The other systems I've traded in the past, I would not be anywhere near 180 trades inside the first 3 months. I mean, at the rate I'm going to be at 200 trades in 3 months, which is incredible for me. Just volume alone is incredible for me in my history of trading futures. But again, to have 147 wins and be at 81% is right where I need to be. I mean, it's honestly, it's like right now this win rate is slightly under where I need to be to really kick things into high gear in my trading plan for how I'm trading my Apex accounts. But I'm so close, and I've just recently applied some very limited rules to keep me out of very few limited trades. And otherwise, my system is to take every setup that comes, unless I have a very clearly defined objective reason to stay out of a trade. And one of those newer rules actually kept me out of a loser today. So I'll show that later. I actually lost my ability to trade on 3 charts at the same time because all 3 charts were in alignment and all had the same entry at the same time. That all failed. So luckily I didn't take that trade. But my first trade, there was no rule that I could apply to stay out of it. And It just is what it is. Losses are going to come sometimes. But the big question is, will I get to my first ever payout on Apex? And this has been on my mind for quite some time. I've been trading Apex coming up on a full year, although I've been trading this way for only, like I said, this first 3 months of this year. So I kind of have to like throw the fact that I've been trading almost 9 months previously and hadn't had a payout. I kind of have to wipe that from my mind because I was trading two different systems trying to get there, and wasn't able to pull it off. And now here I am just rounding out the end of my 3rd month with this system, and maybe finally I'm on my way. Now, I shouldn't totally discount my previous experience trading on the other systems, because I have been, over the course of the full time I've been on Apex, I've been within striking distance of a payout 4 times. As you can see, I've now got, I'm up to my 7th PA. And you can see that there's some PAs missing out of the 7. I blew up 4 of them last year, right at the end of the year. And that's here on YouTube. You can go back to my old videos and check it out towards the end of the year. You'll see blowups happen using a different system. But 4 times I was within a trade, like literally 1 trade away from getting over the qualifying amount to be able to request a payout. And then I just crumbled each and every one of those times. And, for whatever reason, I think personally more psychology than anything, but for whatever reason, I wasn't able to get there. And so now this is basically the closest I've been trading the system. This account, PA2, right here. PA2, the highest balance I've had on PA2 was $52,000 and like $60. So I'm about $100 away from the highest, 52,000. Yeah. So about 100-ish dollars away from the highest balance I've had on this account. And, I'm about $640 away from qualifying for a payout. So that's the real question I have right now, going through this is my system good enough to finally get me there? Because I know losses are going to come, but more wins are going to come than losses. And I'm spreading out my trades amongst all the different accounts. And so, there are going to be losses that hit these accounts, and it's just a matter of timing. Is a loss going to come before enough wins to put me over the top on that account? And as you can see today, my first trade was on PA6, which I've now had above and below the starting balance a number of times. And every time I get it back above the starting balance, I get knocked back down. And the same thing happened with PA7 yesterday. Every time I get like a little over 25,000 by a couple hundred, I take a loss and I end up like right around here. You can see these two amounts are pretty similar because they've both been in similar situations. I string a couple wins along, get over the starting balance by a couple $100 and then pick up a loss. And so it's probably been, honestly, I've been probably getting like out of every 4 trades, I've been getting a loss on those accounts. Maybe one loss out of every 5, which is the 80%. But it's a matter of timing, because then, like today, I started off with a loss and then I went on and won 5 in a row. So that's the thing about this system that I'm trading, is I can go on streaks. Someone in my chat asked me today, what's the longest win streak I've gone on? I don't know what the exact answers of that, because I haven't really kept track of like streaks. But I know that last week I started off my week with a loss and I ended up the week being 12-1. So I know I was 12 in a row recently, last week. And I also started off this week with a couple wins before I got a loss. I think I was 2-0 this week. So right there, I had a 14-win streak. And that's going to happen a lot. Or the streaks of where I have days like this, 6-1, 7-1, those days can happen a lot too. So it's just a matter of where the losses fall. But let me get into the trades, and then I can kind of talk about how I'm applying my system a little bit as well. So let's get into it right now. All right, so here we go. And like I mentioned, This is the first chart I started on today. I trade with 4 charts at a time. And so when I start my morning, I look for 4 charts, 4 different size tick charts, all NQ. And I'm looking for second entries and looking for charts where every single second entry works for my profit target. And when I find a chart that has all good entries, I choose that chart to trade with, and then I go on and find 3 more different size tick charts to do the same with. And so today we had a large move up after all the action yesterday, obviously a large move up yesterday. And I started my day, let's see here. I started my day right at 7 o'clock. So somewhere right around this bar, I got my stream started and settled in. And then my first trade, I was in at 7:04. So within minutes, within 3 or 4 minutes of starting my day, I was in a trade. And this one was just unfortunate. No rule here to keep me out of this trade. No particular reason that I am aware of at this point to say like, oh, I should have stayed out, or there's a reason to skip it, or not. But as you can see here, I'll make this big. I don't feel bad about the trade because my system is I have to take every single entry that the chart gives me when the chart is not losing. And so that's what I did. I entered 1 tick below. And you can see it's a first entry, second entry. And unfortunately, my entry bar went and engulfed my signal bar. And I've talked about this a couple of times. There is a rule that I can change my stop to a previous swing high. In the heat of the moment, I looked over here and kind of saw that as like an equal high. But actually this one's technically a little lower. So I think the rule is I could probably move it to the next swing up, which was the difference of only 2 points. So really it's something I should have done, but I'm also more hesitant to mess with my stop when I'm trading a PA account. So I left it there. I let it get me. And then as you can see, it immediately moved back down and would have worked for my target, no problem. So that's something I have to, I've said it a couple times now. I got to be a little bit more aware and more willing to move my stop, but I'm so ingrained in not moving my stop that I typically don't do it. But again, this is another example of where it could have saved me. I've seen examples recently where it would not have saved me also. And so I think when it's a slight difference of a couple points, probably worth moving it even on a PA. I could have been 7-0 today if I had made that one adjustment, because that is a rule that I've used in the past, and it's, I think, a valid rule. So that's all right. Took the loss there. I actually took it on PA6 and evaluation 35 because I was trading evaluation 35 and have been the past days more aggressively, because evaluation 35 comes up for renewal on Monday, actually. And this account was all the way down to, I think, around $500 or $600 left in drawdown. It was down to 48,600 or so. And I brought it all the way back above starting balance. And now it's within, after today's trading, it's within, $400 or so of having a full drawdown. And I've just been deciding to trade evaluation 35 on every trade I take to either end up blowing it up or getting it back to at least like above starting balance and as close to a full drawdown as I can have before it renews, because it's going to renew at the 80% discount price. So if I didn't have a full drawdown, wasn't above starting balance, it would make more sense to just either blow it or not renew it and just get a new account for 80% off, since that's the current discount being run, which, by the way, you could use this code or any other to get the best discount being offered. Right now, the 80% discount and 1-day pass is going on through March 27th. So just make sure you use a code, whether it's this one or another one. Just make sure you use a code if you pick up any evaluations. Just thought I'd mention it since that just came up. So anyway, so yeah, so today was a good day for evaluation 35 despite this loss. But you can see I did not trade PA6 again after this point. So my rule is 1 trade a day on each account, and then I move on. The only reason 35 is different is because of the renewal and the fact that it was so low that I was either willing to blow it up before renewal or bring it back before renewal. But I don't need to pass it before renewal. That's not important to me because either way I'm paying the same price for an account. as long as it's near full drawdown, like I said. So, some people might say, well, if you just kept trading PA6, that account would have been green today too. And that's true. Although not every day is going to go like this. I'm not going to take a loss on my first trade of the day and then go 6-0 every other day. Right. So my theory is until I've got some profits in my pocket, I'm not willing to lose any account, any Apex account in one single day on one single trade. And so to further that, if I do get a loss, I'm not willing to lose any of my PA accounts, especially on any one given day. It's always going to take a second day, another loss on another day for me to lose my account. To me, that's my best way, given my stats and my win rate, to give it its best chance to come back from a loss and get back ahead. So well, today is an example of a day where I could have brought it all the way back if I just copy traded it onto every other trade I took afterwards. I'm going to just accept the loss, knowing that I can get it back in the days to come. And then meanwhile, what I'm not doing is I'm not just only trading one account and, being barely break even or barely positive on one account after 7 trades today and not touching all my other accounts, right? So the great thing about what I'm doing with my risk management system is, even though I picked up this loss, I just moved on, didn't let it affect me, and went on to trade 6 more times. And fortunately, now have 6 other accounts that have progressed towards their goals, while only one account did not progress today. And then obviously 2 accounts that I did not get to trade today, which is fine. That's going to happen. But despite this loss, I'll admit, when I picked up the loss this morning, my first trade of the day, it didn't feel good. I didn't like it. Nobody wants to lose. I definitely don't want to lose. And so to start off your day, you have hopes and desires to succeed for the day when you start your day. And then, you get started, and within 3 or 4 minutes, you got a $460 loss on an account, and it just makes you feel not great. But I knew that to go 6 trades afterwards, 6-0 afterwards, is entirely possible. So I knew that if I just continue and trade my other accounts, it was very possible to end the day like this. And then it happened, right? So that's why one loss on any given account doesn't mean much to me anymore. And really the biggest thing is I'm one step closer to a payout on the account that has been the closest to a payout this whole time. So it's funny. I was saying during my live stream, when I was going to sleep last night, I was looking at my balances and going, oh, this account PA6 was up like $250 at the end of yesterday. I was like, oh, it's actually not that far difference in terms of from the goal between the 2 accounts. Maybe I can get them both to qualify for a payout at the same time. And I swear, every time I go to bed thinking along those lines about payouts and, maybe I can get 2 at the same time or whatever, every single time it's like one of my PA accounts picks up a loss, but it's just going to happen, right? So, and it's also why I was kind of like toying with like picking which accounts to trade randomly with the spinning wheel that I was doing last week. Because then it's just like completely random where the loss falls. But the problem with that was on days where, I'm not getting 7 trades in a day, or even if I was getting 7 trades in a day, like sometimes I wouldn't have a trade for all of my PA accounts. And really, I want to make sure that the PA accounts get the first chances at progressing, first chances at getting trades, and then the evaluations can follow. But the primary goal is to get that payout. Just one payout, 2,000 max payout, makes me break even right now. If I happen to pass an evaluation and pay any more fees, or my renewals coming up, will put me slightly over 2,000. So I'll essentially one $2,000 payment makes me break even, makes me whole, and will allow me to kick things in a little bit higher gear, because I'm playing small right now. I'm being conservative. I'm really just trying to lock it in, lock in my system, lock in my management, and then I can modify and open things up a little bit more once I have that money back in my pocket. So this video is turning into a long video. I'm already at 20 minutes. Let's move on to my next chart and my next trades. All right, so after I picked up that loss, which is in this area here, you can see I switched to this chart. I had 3 charts left at that point that I was trading, and it just worked out this way where I happened to take 4 trades on the same chart. The next 4 trades I took. I don't plan it that way. I don't pick favorites of one chart over another. I just basically try to take the next best trade that sets up wherever that may be, whichever chart it may be on, and whichever one kind of happens first is the one I'll typically take. So here, notice I have a new low from this low. And so I have a first entry, second entry short. And before this was setting up, I was saying if I can get a second entry that's right off of this opening white dashed line, that's the opening price of the day. As you can see here, this is where it opened, right at that price. If I can get a short entry right off of that, I would take it. And it set up exactly there after I was talking about it. And I traded PA2 and evaluation 35 and got 17 ticks on that trade. That's an example of using those levels exactly how I want to, trading against them, letting it work as resistance. It was resistance here and letting it be resistance here and taking the trade. And as you can see, it was a large move down. I captured 17 ticks of it and got a little bit back on evaluation 35. And then we have a first entry, second entry here. This is kind of classic, good signal bar, everything at a point of at a point of support, right? So, kind of a triple test as well. So, that's a legit second entry that I think with rules would be able to take anyway. But I went ahead and took that on PA7. And evaluation 35 had plus 10 ticks. So, oh, by the way, going back. So PA2, I picked up $127 on the trade, trading 2 contracts. Then trade 3, PA7, traded 2 contracts again. And on the evaluation 35, made $92 on evaluation 7. And on evaluation 35, I was trading 3 contracts. Then trade 4, you can see new low. First entry short, second entry short. Now this is a trade I don't think if you're applying price action rules, you'd typically be able to take going into the EMA. I personally am going to take this trade all day long because I'm on a winning chart and there's no reason to say that it won't work for my scalp before it bounces up regardless, even if the EMA is there in this case. So I picked up 17 ticks. This was a funny trade because I wasn't expecting this trade to set up here and I hadn't picked a new, I forgot to pick a new evaluation to trade with and copy with evaluation 35. So because I had turned off my PA account after the last trade, evaluation 35 was the only one chosen on my copier. And I would have missed the trade if I tried to pick another evaluation. And it actually honestly made it easier for me to even take the trade, knowing it was only evaluation 35, because at this point it was still under starting balance and ways to go for drawdown to be full, to be back in a better shape. So I was thinking, well, even if I take a loss on just this account, it won't mean much to me. I'm more than willing to take a loss on it. So it made it super easy to take this trade and it worked for 17 ticks. Then right away, a second entry long formed right on its back, and I was able to take that for trade 5. Evaluation 31 and 35, I got 9 ticks on that one. So 31, you can see I made $82, and that put me within, was it $63 of passing that account. So should be one more trade. We'll get it done for me. So we'll hope for that to happen tomorrow. And I think at this point I was like just almost break even, slightly red on evaluation 35, I believe. And then let's see, after I took this trade, let's see, did I switch? Let me figure out what the next trade was here real quick. Yes, okay, I remember. So after trade 5, I then saw another setup on a different tick size chart here. So you can see my last trade here was the long right here. And then on this chart, this second entry long formed. Maybe make it bigger here. This second entry long formed from this high first entry long, second entry long, and you can see not a great signal bar, not a trade probably most people would take that are trading second entries, but I threw out all of those rules and I take the trade because this chart, again, every second entry has worked for the profit target on this chart. No reason to think it's going to stop now. It was at a level of support, triple tests even. So happy to take that trade. And this trade worked on evaluation 27 and copying 35 as well for 15 ticks. So 27 picked up $183, trading 3 contracts on that one, and as well as got evaluation 35 into the green on that trade. And at this point, after this trade, this is where I noticed one of my newer rules. So there's a first entry short, second entry short here, and it's a bullish bar right after we crossed over the EMA. We've already got 2 legs down with a new low. And so I've just noticed this pattern, 2 legs down with a new low, moved above the EMA, and now a second entry short sets up under a bullish bar right into the EMA. These are losing every time. I can't tell you how many losses I've taken in the past 3 months on exactly this situation. And for a long time early on when I was trading the system, I was skipping these trades anyways because I was applying quite a few rules. Needed a good signal bar, needed to like make sense context wise. And then at a certain point, I threw out all the rules and I was just taking every entry. And then that's when I was picking up losses on this exact setup over and over and over again. I mean, at 34 losses, it'd be interesting to go back and see how many of the 34 losses were a loss on exactly this kind of a setup, because I bet you it's probably at least 10 of them, like probably a third of the losses can be eliminated just by not taking this. And yeah, if you're playing by rules for individual setups, you'll avoid this 10 out of 10 times. But if you were trading like me, trading the chart and every entry is working, then you're saying, well, I can't apply any rules because you don't know when the loss is going to come. Most of them are working, right? But this, I'm now saying I can apply a rule and stay out of this trade. And I'll skip this trade 10 out of 10 times now because I know that that's where it's likely to lose. And not only did it lose on this chart, but it lost on the other charts that I was working with as well. So let's see, this chart, which is where I had the 4 trades in a row. First entry short, second entry short, same situation, a bullish bar, and triggers under it, and then it goes on to fail. And I believe I was playing another chart. What was the other chart I was playing? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Well, I don't seem to remember which chart it was, but essentially I had 3 charts that I was working with at this point when I took this trade, and all 3 charts lost in this same spot at the same time. They all 3 were in alignment, triggered a second entry short under a bar that was not, that was a bullish looking bar, and they all failed. And so at the same time, I lost all 3 charts that I was able to work with. And I was really thinking, okay, that would probably be the end of my trading day. That was at about 8:30 in the morning. And so I took a little break and then came back and decided to look to see if there was any more charts I could find, since there was still more time to trade within my day. And so then I switched to, let's see, this chart here. All right. And so as you can see, this was kind of the area where that second entry short formed that failed. But on this chart, there was no second entry there. And so this chart I had found, again, every second entry working for my profit target the whole day from session open. Even right now, it still has not had a losing entry at this point. Although, look, first entry, second entry just triggered above this bar. So maybe it'll suffer its first loss right now. I'm not sure. But I was kind of talking on stream, not really paying attention, because at this point I really wasn't thinking that I was going to enter another trade. And in the corner of my eye, I saw while I was talking, I saw this second entry long setting up. And I had just been talking about how I had every expectation of being able to test the high of the day. And so when I saw the setup above the opening price line, again, remember it was resistance earlier, uh, clearly a close above it, I figured it was safe for me to take a trade using it as support with the theory that we were going to retest today, which look, it came really close to retesting, but didn't quite get there. Um, and so quickly chose evaluation 29 and got that chosen just in time because this bar had already closed and this bar was just, it hadn't triggered yet. It was just working kind of under for a little bit. Gave me just enough time to choose an account to trade with. Chose 29 and got my best win of the day, actually 19 ticks on that account for $273. And it worked perfectly. I thought there might have even been a chance to get a little bit more, but that's what it locked in. Super happy with that. And that was my day. And so at the end of all of that, even with the loss between all of my accounts, up about $460 all combined, including with this loss. So, that's interesting because, I lost 460 and I'm up for the day for all my accounts 460. And that just goes to show how really, using Apex's system that allows you to trade multiple accounts lets you absorb a loss and you can go on and have a great day. And so really today I look at as really a pretty stellar day. I got to say, I look at it like a green day. So let's see here. Yeah, I look at a green day, 6-1, but I'm green overall. And I'm happy with the day. I'll take a loss somewhere in my accounts every day, and if I can continue to grow 6 accounts against one account getting a setback, I should be fine in the big scheme of things. Maybe it'll take me a little longer. I do think that if my percentage was at 85% overall, which is where I am for the week and for the day, then this system will really work for me, and I'm going to start seeing results soon. Again, I'm going slow. I'm taking base hits. I know these numbers individually are not impressive. $180, $270, $82, especially when I have $458 loss on the board. But again, I'm looking at the big picture and what I'm going to be able to do in the big scheme of things using multiple accounts with Apex. And I really do think that I am going to get to my first payout ever on Apex. It's just a matter of time at this point. And I don't think it's going to really take me too much longer. I think my system is really solidifying. I'm having to make less and less modifications. And I'm at the point where I'm really starting to trust it. Just 3 weeks ago, I had a bad week where I think it was 6 losses in a single week. I had 4 losses in a single day. And, I think that might happen from time to time, but more times than not, I should be able to see results like this. So it's just, it's something I've been talking about on my stream. Go and check out my stream. Check out where my trades are. Check out what I talk about, because I talk a lot about, my risk management system and why I'm trading this way. I'm not copy trading for the most part. And it's for this reason. It's for the reason that one loss in the big picture isn't really going to matter. If I can go 6-1 and have 6 accounts be green and 1 account red, then I'm gonna come out of this all right. All right, I think I've said it all. 34 minutes. These videos are always a little bit longer than I'd really like them to be, but I just have so many things I want to talk about and thoughts about the process and where I'm at with my trading. And I always feel like I have to kind of explain what I'm doing too for anyone that's watching for the first time. So, gonna keep it going tomorrow. 6-1 for the day, 86%, 12-2 for the week, 86%, right where I want to be. 147 wins and 34 losses for the year for the first 3 months so far of 2024. 81%. I'm hoping I can keep having results like today that will lift up my overall percentage little by little over time. And really my ideal place to be would be at 85, 86%. I think I could really have great results at that point across all my accounts. And I think I'll really start building PAs building up payouts and passing more evaluations, getting more PAs. So yeah, I really do think I've said it all. I appreciate you watching. I definitely appreciate if you like and subscribe and follow me on my journey. Will I get to my first payout on the Apex ever? Coming up on my 1 year anniversary of being on the Apex, and I'd really like to get it done. If I could get it done by the first window of the April payout window, that would be amazing. Even if it's just the one, even just to get to break even, that would really let me know that I'm finally on my way. And I know more will follow after that if I just keep doing what I'm doing. So follow me on my journey. Let's see if I can make it happen. I appreciate all the support, and thanks for watching. Hope you had a good trading day as well, and be back at it tomorrow. All right. Peace.